Guys, it's been 30 days since I got my Leica M11-P, and time is flying. Literally, time is flying. I wanted to give you guys my honest thoughts and opinions about the camera over the last 30 days with me having this camera. And a saying and motto I live by is the best camera is the one that you have with you. And I have been taking this camera everywhere with me over the last 30 days. So I want to go into what I've been learning with this camera, how it's changing me a little bit as a photographer, what I like and dislike about this camera. But long story short, I love this camera. It is an amazing camera. I have paired this with the 35mm Apo Summicron lens, and just that combination alone, having a 60 megapixel sensor paired with this 35 Apo lens is like in a whole nother league from where I'm coming from. The camera that I was using previously that led me to this Leica was the Fuji X100VI. I was using that camera as just my everyday camera, taking it with me everywhere, documenting life. I did sell that camera, but it is in good hands. My brother actually bought the camera from me, which I was super happy to see. Him and his family are gonna be using that to document their family, which is, it's cool to keep the camera in the family, you know what I mean? So with that Fuji, it led me to this camera. It led me to the Leica. It was the gateway drug, just the rangefinder experience. The experience alone is what led me to going further down this rabbit hole and with the Leica. What I mean by experience is a camera should inspire you to pick it up and to use it and to shoot photos, take photos. That's what a camera is for. I have an A7 IV. I have a Nikon D5600. They're great cameras, great tools, great image quality. Damn near every new camera on the market today is gonna have really good picture quality. Even your iPhone in your pocket has amazing picture quality. But what sets the Leica apart from other cameras is the experience. And I'm sure you've heard that coming from other YouTubers or whatever blogs you've been reading about this camera. It's about the experience. It literally is about the experience, and I'm slowly getting that. Using a fully manual camera is really interesting. You know, it slows you down. It makes you have to think and focus. And when you don't have autofocus, when you can't just spray and pray, when you literally have to just slow down, it helps with your photography. It helps you see things that you might have missed. And that's what I'm learning with this camera. You know, the images that I'm taking, I'm just documenting life. I'm documenting what I see in front of me. And it paired with, you know, a prime lens, one in which, like, I love prime lenses because, you know, there's no zoom. You have to zoom with your feet. You have to be interactive with your environment. I love 35mm, and I'm wanting to really hone in that 35mm look and really just see the world in 35mm. You know, my thought process behind just sticking with 35mm is just practice. By no means am I perfect, nor do I strive to be perfect, but if you want to better yourself in any craft or skill, you have to practice. With 35mm, I just really want to get good with 35mm in a day. I want to just see the world in 35mm, and once I feel more comfortable, once I feel like I've kind of not mastered, but once I have put in the hours with 35mm, then I might look into a 28, then I might look into a 50. But for now, we're just gonna stick to 35mm. And piggybacking off of that, piggybacking off of like the lenses that you can put on this camera. This is something I really like about this camera is the lens mount for the Leica M system literally hasn't changed in like 70 years. So you have a plethora of lenses that you can pair to this camera. You can go down this crazy rabbit hole of finding vintage lenses that have just a specific character that gives it a look. Something that you can't emulate, you have to have that lens. And that's something I'm definitely learning and exploring. Like I said, I just want to stick with the 35 Apo Summicron for now. It is just a masterpiece of a lens. And I'm literally like, I'll be editing photos. I have a Apple Studio display, phenomenal display. I will import the photos into Lightroom, and I am just like, wow. When you shoot this camera, 60 megapixels paired with just amazing glass, you just have files that are insane. Insane to say the least. Like, you can just zoom for days, you can pixel peep, and the colors, the way it renders colors and light and the shadows, the files are very, very malleable. Like, they're very, you can adjust them, you can adjust your highlights, you can adjust your shadows, you can adjust your blacks, just everything about the file is very adjustable. And it's a great template to start if you want to go down that rabbit hole of, you know, playing with color. That's honestly what color photography is about. Now, I know Leica does have the M11 monochrome, takes color completely out of the picture, but M11-P shoots in color, and the color out of these files are absolutely beautiful. Really am loving and really am happy with that. Now, a few more things that I really like about this camera. The overall design, the ergonomics of it, just how it feels in the hand. You know, the pickup ability with the camera, just it's sitting on the desk, literally it just sitting on this desk right here, and you pick it up and it feels amazing in the hand. It has a little heft to it. It's dense, like it's solidly built, and it feels amazing. It feels amazing in the hand. Everything just feels very well constructed, very well made, and it's inspiring. It is inspiring in the sense that, you know, this is a phenomenal tool to capture and make images, and that's what this camera does for me. And I'm sure it'll do it for you. If you're on the fence about buying this camera, you know, it's really compelling. Like, they make a really compelling, you know, camera at the end of the day. And yes, it is a pretty penny. It is a pretty penny, not gonna lie, but what you get, I feel like you get what you pay for at the end of the day. And this thing is a phenomenal tool to capture and make images. I'm gonna put it down because I gotta keep my train of thought going. Overall design, ergonomics, the way it feels in the hand, just the experience of having your ISO dial, having your shutter speed dial, having your aperture on the lens, and then having your focus on the lens. That's something we're definitely gonna talk about. You know, having all your settings basically on the camera, you can dial in your settings with this camera being off, turn on the camera, and then pop the shot. You know, that's something that not a lot of cameras can do at the end of the day. And then going back to manual focus, being a manual focus camera, rangefinder camera, you know, I thought it was going to be intimidating. I thought it was gonna, like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get focused. I was a little intimidated, but I must admit, like, I'm only 30 days in, but the amount of shots that I like missed because of I missed focus are very few and far between. And I say that because I am now slowing down. Like, I am now, you know, this camera slows you down. You have to literally slow down or you're going to miss the shot. You're going to miss focus. And as time goes on, you're going to, what I think, you're going to get better. You know, like I said, practice makes perfect. And as time goes on, as you continue to practice, as you learn zone focusing, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. You know, you're going to be able to know this camera like the back of your hands. And I'm like, it takes time, but I'm very excited to, you know, get to a point where you just genuinely know this camera like the back of your hands when it comes time to focusing and all that good stuff. And design, pickup ability, just the compactness of this camera is amazing, guys. I literally carry this camera with a little rope strap right here and around my neck, and it just stays there. It lives there whenever I'm out and about in life. And even if I'm not, like it's just there, you know? It's just there. Just in case you see something cool unfold right in front of you, you have just an amazing tool to be able to capture that. Now, a few things that I don't like about this camera, which I had to really think. The Leica, if you're listening, the boot up time for this camera is just like slow. Like, it takes like 3 seconds to fire up. Let me show you guys. All right, I'm gonna boot it on and I'm just gonna press until I can take a picture. Here we go. Like, that took way too long. That took way too long. I don't know why it takes that long to boot up a freaking camera, but Leica, if you're listening, please get that fixed. Either a software update, the neck, whatever. Let's address that, because that takes, I don't know why it takes that long. But to get over that, that's like such a small thing. But I mean, come on now. Like, why does it take that long to boot up a camera? What I do to get around that is I just don't turn off the camera. You put it in standby mode. I have it set to 1 hour, so literally it's around my neck, and I just leave it on, and you have 60 minutes to do something with the camera, or else it'll go into standby. But 60 minutes is plenty, and you just leave it around your neck. Whenever you're ready to take a shot, bam, it's on, it's fired up, it's ready to go. She's armed and ready. So that's the one way that I got around that. But it would be nice to see a faster boot up time. Just something to throw out there. Now, another dislike that I do have about this camera is officially it's not weather sealed. And I'm a guy that likes to go take images in bad weather, in the snow, in the rain, and not having the official stamp from Leica telling us that, yeah, this camera is weather sealed. It is. I want to say it is. Like, I've done some research and it is weather sealed, but they're not officially stating that. And that kind of just like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to test my luck, you know what I mean? And especially with, a price point like this, I would like to see them in further generations of this camera to officially weather seal it, make it completely weather sealed. I can take it out in the, and I'm not saying I got to go scuba diving with my camera, but I want to be able to go out in the rain, light rain, light snow. And I've taken it out in like very light rain. I've taken it out when it was snowing, but yeah, let's get that weather sealed, please. Last but not least, one of the things I don't know why this happened to me, but the sensor got dirty really quick. And like I said, I only have one lens for this camera. So like when I bought the camera, I'll literally just open the lens cap, put the lens on, and somehow my sensor got kind of dirty. In between when I did that to 30 days later, I really did not, change the lenses because I only have one lens for this camera. So sensor got a little dirty. I did send it in to an official store near me. They went ahead and cleaned it because I'm about to go out of town. I would do it myself, but I didn't want to mess anything up. So I was like, I'm just drop it off. But yeah, those 3 things that I'm just like, we could do a little better. And I really had to like think on like things that they could improve on this camera, but sensor got a little dirty. I don't know, it's a dust magnet or something. The boot up time, come on guys, let's get that a little faster. And the weather sealing. I think if we can address those 3, and those are like, they're not deal breakers to me, The good definitely outweighs those few minor little complaints that I have. The camera is an amazing camera, guys. At the end of the day, point blank period. It's going to take time. If you are new to the rangefinder experience, of like, this might be your first Leica video about a Leica M camera, it is a different ball game. The rangefinder experience, being able to just see out of glass and see the world around you and not be looking at it through a screen, through some digital screen, when it's just you and the world around you through just some glass. It is just a very amazing experience. It really connects you with the world around you. You're not really taken out of that. You're still present in the moment when you're shooting with this camera, is what I'm finding. And like I said, it slows you down. You're really having to think about your settings. Speaking of settings, how I've been shooting this camera, the settings that I've been using aperture priority. And I made a video about this not too long ago. Check it out right here after this video. But I shoot this camera in aperture priority. I am a big thumbs up guy. Big thumbs up. Like, aperture priority is the way I shoot this camera. It's the way I shot the Fuji. What it is, you're basically in control of the aperture. That's the only setting that you control. And the camera does the rest. And I know some of you people out there might be like, oh, you should shoot in manual. I shoot in manual when I'm like specifically going for something like a waterfall shot and I need the water to be nice and silky smooth. Or let's say I want to get some light trails going, then I'll shoot in manual. But for your day-to-day life, if you have good light, if you're out daylight, it's pretty good light, or even indoors and it's like light, you can shoot an aperture priority and you don't really have to worry about your camera settings in terms of ISO and shutter speed. You set your auto ISO to a maximum and minimum. So minimum on this camera is 64. Max I have my auto ISO set to is 6400. I find you get good results with 6400. If it like really creeps up there to 6400, it's a little noisy, it's a little grainy, but I'd rather have a little grainy photo than one that's like super blurry or like just, you know, you can't use a photo that's super blurry. So I'd rather take grain or noise any day over blur. And the second auto setting is your shutter speed. And I have that set over 1/4 times the focal length. So focal length that I use is 35 mil. So the minimum shutter speed that the camera will not go under is 1/140. 1/140 is kind of the base in terms of my minimum, and that is that's pretty good for me. If I need a specific situation, I'll go ahead and set my actual shutter speed, and that's what I love about this camera. Like I said, all the settings on this camera are up top, including your shutter speed. So if I need to go ahead and pop it into a specific shutter speed, you just boop, turn it, and now I'm at 1/4000, just like that. Super easy. So yeah, guys, it's been 30 days. I'm loving this camera. I've taken it literally on a road trip to Asheville, North Carolina, shot a protest out there, literally just a crazy environment at night, and then went to the Biltmore Estate, shot some beautiful photos at the Biltmore Estate, went on a hike in Asheville. I've taken this camera to DC. I've taken this camera to Glenstone Architectural Museum. I've literally just taken this camera pretty much everywhere with me over the last 30 days, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun just capturing life as it is. So if you guys have made it this far, I greatly appreciate you guys watching this video. That means a lot to me. If you're on the fence about this camera, if you're thinking about it, if you're doing your research, I don't know what to say, guys. I think you should try it. I think you should go for it. I think it is life is short, man. I think if you have the means, you want it, obviously, you want to try it, go for it, bro. Like, you only live once. If you guys want to see more images from this camera, more of my thoughts, my stream of consciousness, I have a Substack link in the description. It is coined the lens of life, the self-actualization through the lens of life. And I just go and document my life as it unfolds, and I'm using my Leica for all my images moving forward. So if you guys are interested in that, link is in the description. I come out with a weekly newsletter. And then more behind the scenes life, if you are interested, is my Instagram. Link will be in the description. I post whatever photos I take that I really, really enjoy. I'll go ahead and post it to Instagram. So Substack, link in the description, my weekly newsletter, and my Instagram is in the description down there as well. So if you guys are interested, go check me out. You can find me there if I'm not here posting videos on YouTube. And with all that being said, 1 month with this camera, it's been phenomenal. It's been amazing. The image quality is out of this world. And I'm very much so looking forward to the future with this camera, where this camera's gonna take me. We got some trips coming up. That's all I can say. This camera's coming with me everywhere, and I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited for what's around the corner. I'll let you guys in. We're about to go somewhere warm next week, so be on the lookout for future content because we got some things cooking, guys. We got some things cooking. And with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Peace.